Dietitian, and welcome to Healthy Made Simple, where I show you how to make healthy eating simple. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 3 weight loss tips that don't require any sort of dieting or cutting calories, but are also crucial parts of any weight loss plan. Now, if you're not familiar with me, I'm a registered dietitian and I specialize in weight loss, which means I work one-on-one with clients to help them lose weight by making healthy lifestyle changes. And I've also worked with clients that are taking weight loss medications to lose weight as well. So I've seen many different approaches to weight loss in the past, and these 3 tips are designed for really anyone who's trying any different weight loss method. This can be part of any weight loss plan, but has to be incorporated in order for your weight loss efforts to be successful. And if you are curious, please stay tuned until the end of this video where I'm going to be doing a goal setting exercise. So if you do want to take these tips, you want to implement them into your day-to-day life in order to make your weight loss efforts more successful, whether you are currently trying to lose weight or you want to lose weight but you just haven't taken the step yet, wherever you may be in your weight loss journey, the goal setting exercise we're going to be doing at the end is going to start getting you to think about what steps you can take to implement these tips into your life so that when you do try to lose weight, your weight loss efforts can be successful. Curious? Alrighty, well, let's get started. Let me share those 3 weight loss tips for you that are going to be very, very helpful in your weight loss efforts. Let's go. Alrighty, tip number 1 is you gotta get your sleep in order. Now, sleep is one of the biggest components of a weight loss plan, and sometimes it's overlooked. So I want to go a little bit deeper into why sleep is so important. So let's think about weight loss in general, right? When you're trying to lose weight, you're actually trying to lose the fat in your body, right? You're not just trying to lose weight in general at any cost, losing muscle at the same time. We want to maintain the muscle. Muscle is what drives our metabolism, it's what keeps our body strong, and it's what drives longevity as well. So we're not trying to lose muscle when we're trying to lose weight. We're trying to lose fat because we have this extra stored fat in our body that we don't need. So when we're trying to lose weight, we tell our body, hey, I have this extra stored fat. I don't need it. I don't want it. I want you to burn through it. Now think about your body like it's a machine, right? It's a machine that's running throughout the day. That's what your metabolism is, right? It's burning calories throughout the day. Now, in order for that machine to work at its best, you gotta get good sleep. And sleep, not just in terms of the number of hours, the quantity of sleep, but also the quality of sleep. There's no point in getting 8 hours of sleep if you are up every hour at night. That's not good quality. So both the quantity and the quality need to go together in order for your sleep to be recovering enough for your body to function at its best. Sleep is what we all have to do every night, right? We all got to go to sleep. And the way we wake up in the morning and how we feel in the morning is really driven by how our sleep went that night. Now, of course, weight loss ties into this as well, because if you're thinking about your body like a machine and you want this machine to burn through this extra fat that you have that you don't want in order to lose weight, you want your body to work at its best. But to work at its best, it's got to be recovered and rested enough for the day. So that starts with sleep. Now, I know getting enough sleep is sometimes out of our control, and if you're in a situation where it's really out of your control, then that's something you have to incorporate as part of your weight loss plan, something to keep in mind. But a lot of times, the amount of sleep we get and the quality of sleep we get can be within our control. We can at least take steps to help improve it. So what that means is, number 1, you got to figure out how many hours of sleep you need. It's different for every person. You can't just look at a guide and say, okay, this is exactly what I need to do. You got to get in tune with your body. And being in tune with your body is a big component of anything you're doing with weight loss as well. You got to listen to the feedback your body is giving you to see how it's reacting to things. And same applies with sleep. First, you got to figure out, okay, how many hours of sleep do I truly need to wake up the next morning feeling my best, feeling like my body has recovered, repaired everything, I'm ready and fresh for the day, this machine is working at its best, this metabolism has ramped up to help me lose that extra fat that I have stored, right? So that's what we want to think. So in order to do that, how many hours of sleep do you need? And maybe it's a trial and error. Maybe you got to figure out, okay, I can get this many hours of sleep and be okay, or I can get this many hours of sleep and it's really ideal for me. So first you got to figure that out. And depending on what time you got to be up in the morning, you got to backtrack and make sure you're going to sleep at an hour that's going to give you enough of that sleep. Now, I know that can be challenging. I understand. Nighttime is our freedom time. And as a mom to a toddler, I feel you. I'm right there. After my toddler goes to sleep, nighttime is my time. And I would love to be able to stay up all night and have all that freedom to myself. But unfortunately, the next day is coming right along and we got to get to sleep and we got to get up the next day. So getting that extra hour of maybe TV time or phone time at night might maybe feel good in that moment, but how does it feel in terms of your sleep quantity, in terms of your sleep quality? How does it affect your weight loss efforts, right? You got to look at the bigger picture, because if you're really, really trying hard to lose weight, but you're just choosing not to go to sleep at a decent hour at night and choosing to stay up late and not getting that repair, not getting that recovery overnight, then all that effort you're putting into weight loss is for nothing, right? Well, not for nothing. I'm sure it'll still be helpful. But all I'm saying is that if you're putting in that effort to really try to lose weight, the least you can do is just give yourself enough sleep. So find what time works best for you. What time do you need to get to sleep at night in order to get the right quality of sleep that you need? And then make sure you stick to a routine. Now, if you have a job where your hours vary day to day, I know that can be difficult. But if you have a relatively stable routine where you're kind of working the same hours during the week, I get it, weekends can be different, but at least during the week, try to stay to a routine so that your body knows and expects when you're going to go to sleep. And it'll help you get into a rhythm so much better. And then, of course, you got to make sure the quality of your sleep is good too. So if you have not used like a sleep tracker before, I highly suggest getting one. You can find one that's not as expensive nowadays. You don't need the latest version, the most expensive kind, but whatever's within your budget, if you can afford it, something to help keep track of your sleep. I personally have a Fitbit, and I'll show you a little bit about the sleep portion of my Fitbit and how that works, but getting to see how your sleep is going throughout the week is really helpful to see, okay, when am I being awake? When am I waking up too often? Why might I be waking up too often? And then trying to figure out, listening to the feedback from your body and looking back to what has happened that day that maybe affected your sleep quality. Now, from a food standpoint, having food in your stomach when you're going to sleep can affect sleep quality. Because think about it this way, your sleep time is your body's chance to repair and recover everything that has happened throughout the day, right? Even if you don't live a very active lifestyle, even if you're sedentary, there's a lot of stress that we put in our body just by being alive during the day, just by existing and moving during the day. So the body needs to repair that at night as we're sleeping so that we wake up the next day feeling refreshed. Now, if we go to bed with food in our stomach, your body has to target digestion. It can't just let that food sit there all night. It does need to digest. And there's only so many resources available in your body, so it's going to have to pull away resources from repairing and recovering in order to help you digest. So if you've ever gone to bed on a full stomach and you woke up not feeling the greatest, that's part of the reason. It's because your body had to pull resources away to help you digest. So one of the things you can do to help improve your quality of sleep is just avoid eating in those last 2 hours before bed. Now that doesn't mean don't have a bedtime snack or nighttime snack, but limit it so that it's before those last 2 hours before bed, so you give your body a chance to digest through the food you've eaten, so you're not going to bed on a stomach full of food. And of course, there can be other reasons why your sleep quality may be affected. So you just need to take a look at your life, see what's going on, and see what's causing a negative effect on both your sleep quality and your sleep quantity. and get yourself into a routine. We do bedtime routines with kids. Adults need bedtime routines too. In order for our body to expect that sleep is coming up, we gotta take the steps. I'm sure you've heard, having a phone at night, being in bed, staring at your phone right before sleep can affect your sleep, of course. So maybe getting into some sort of a bedtime routine that doesn't require any sort of screens, even if it's just the last half hour before bed. Whatever it may be that helps you get there is going to help you improve your sleep quality and sleep quantity so that you're helping those weight loss efforts by giving your body a chance to repair and recover to its fullest extent so your metabolism is working at its best the next day when you're trying to lose weight. All right, so start thinking about that from your perspective. And when we get to the end of this video and we do that goal setting, you can start thinking about what steps can you take to help improve your sleep quality and your sleep quantity. All right, so that's my tip number 1. Get your sleep in order. All righty, let's move on to tip number 2. All righty, my tip number 2 for helping your weight loss efforts is you gotta manage your stress. Now, I'm not saying eliminate stress from your life. That is almost impossible to do. Life is stressful as it is. There's stresses that come up. Even when you think you have everything figured out, everything set in stone, something's bound to happen. And that's just how life goes. But just because life itself can be stressful does not mean that we need to give in and have a stressful response to every situation that happens in our lives. Now, of course, there are big stresses in life where you're going to be stressed out no matter what. But it's the little things I talk about. It's the things that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but we let it get to us. We let it stress us out. And all that stress is not good for weight loss efforts. Because think about it this way. When we're stressed, our body releases stress hormones, right? We have cortisol. And that can absolutely affect your hunger levels as well. One of the biggest things I see as a weight loss dietitian is a lot of people struggle with stress eating. So if that's you, if you struggle with stress eating, your hunger, the amount of food you consume can be directly tied to how stressful things are in life. And that's a hormonal response that's happening in your body. Your body is responding to a threat outside that's stressing you out, and that's affecting your hunger levels. And of course, it's going to affect your weight loss efforts too, right? Because that extra fat we're trying to lose weight, that is extra stored energy. So if we're telling our body, I'm in a fight or flight response, something is stressful, something's going on, and that stress hormone spikes up, do you think your body is going to want to get rid of the extra stored energy it has? Of course not. It doesn't know what's coming up. Maybe there's something so stressful coming up that I'm going to have to use all this stored energy I have. Maybe I'm not going to get food. Maybe, I'm going to have to expend a lot of energy, body thinks. So I need this extra stored energy. I'm not getting rid of that quickly. That's what your body tells you. So think about that. While, in certain aspects, of course, if there's a big stressful thing and you're running away from a predator, then yes, you do need that stored energy. But in our day-to-day stresses, that's usually not the case. And your body just doesn't know any different. Your body doesn't know the stress from the drama at work is not the same as you having to run from a predator. So the way it responds is just a hormonal response. There are pathways in our body that fire in response to things that happen. So the best thing we can do is to help manage our stress. So we're not letting our body, our cortisol levels spike up so much over things that really don't need that level of response because they're not stressful enough to elicit that response in our bodies. So that means finding ways to manage your stress, your anxiety if you deal with anxiety as well, so that you're helping regulate these hormones in your body better. And you're telling your body, hey, there's nothing stressful, there's nothing worrisome going on, there's no reason for you to store onto that extra fat that you have for a future purpose. You can get rid of it. We don't need it. That's what you need to tell your body. And that comes from managing your stress. Now, managing stress is different for everyone. Everybody manages stress differently. If you have not figured out what works for you yet, it's just a matter of trial and error. trying to figure out what works for you in those moments of stress. For some people, it's exercise. For some people, it's reading a book. Some people, it's taking deep breaths, yoga, meditation. There are so many things you can do, and I'm a dietitian, so this is not my area of expertise, and I highly suggest that you check out all the resources that are available out there nowadays to help with managing stress, so that if you are trying to lose weight, and even if you aren't trying to lose weight, honestly, we can all benefit from managing our stress better. But truly, if you are trying to lose weight, and especially if you're struggling, and that in itself can create even more stress because you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm trying so hard, it's not working, and it stresses you out even more. So now you're in this vicious cycle. We got to break through all of that. We got to find ways to manage the stress so that when you are losing weight, you're giving your body permission to get rid of that extra fat and telling it, I don't need it. There's nothing stressful coming up that we need to reserve this for. Get rid of it. All right, so check out the resources that are available out there to find what's going to work for you. And with that goal setting exercise we're going to be doing, that's going to be a great chance for you to kind of take that first step, if you haven't already done so, to put a solid plan in place. One solid goal in place that you know you can do, that you can implement to help manage your stress going forward. All right, so that's tip number 2, manage your stress levels. All right, and here is tip number 3, my final tip, and that is going to be to move your body, use your muscles, and stretch. Now, I'm not saying exercise. I'm saying move your body, use your muscles, and stretch. And they're different things than exercise. Of course, exercise gets to be incorporated as a big portion of any weight loss plan. If you try to research exercise for weight loss, I'm sure you'll find millions of content out there for it, but that's not what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you to exercise, but I'm telling you to, number 1, move your body. That means being more physically active throughout the day. Not just going to the gym and working out for a half hour to a full hour, but just being more active throughout the day. Unfortunately, a lot of us live very sedentary lifestyles. A lot of us work desk jobs where we're in front of a computer all day, and our bodies were not meant to be this stationary for so long. But unfortunately, this is where we are in the world, right? This is how most of us work. If you drive to work, chances are you get in your car, you sit in your car all the way to work, and then you sit at work all day, you sit all the way home, you come home and you sit at dinner, you come home and you sit at night watching TV. And if you don't drive to work and you work from home, you sit even more because now you got no commute to walk to the car. So you're just walking from maybe your desk to your living room, back to your desk. And there's not a lot of movement that naturally happens for us throughout the day. Now, if you work a busy job where you're physically active, you may already have this covered. Or if you are a parent that's staying at home with a kid, you may have this covered if you have somebody active. But what I mean is, if you are not naturally in a position where your body is moving throughout the day, find ways to move your body. So that means that, maybe while you're sitting at your desk, every hour you get up, you do a little stretch, you do a little walk. If you are able to, if you're on a phone call, walk while you're on the phone call. Pace throughout the room. You don't have to go somewhere to go on a walk. You can just pace in your own room. Or maybe you find ways to take the stairs more often. Whether you have stairs at home or you don't, anytime you can take the stairs instead of the elevator, you take the stairs. That means you park your car far away from where you're supposed to go. If you're in the parking lot of a grocery store, you park all the way at the back just so you can move a little bit more. Maybe it means you take the long way. Even if you're at work, you're going to the bathroom, maybe you just take the long way there just so you get a little extra steps in on the way. Whatever it takes to just move your body. It does not have to be a coordinated movement that's part of an exercise routine. Just moving your body throughout the day is going to be very helpful. And for some people, I know it helps to see that in terms of a number, in terms of steps. So this is where something like a Fitbit can really come in handy. And I'll show you what my Fitbit looks like. This is the Fitbit that I have. And feel free, you don't have to get a Fitbit per se, but I'll include a link for this one down below. But Even if you don't get a Fitbit, if you just get a step tracker, something like that can be helpful. One of the features I like about Fitbit is every hour on the hour. If you haven't gotten 250 steps, you haven't moved a lot, it'll alert you that you got 10 minutes left to get that movement in. So that always helps me, because sometimes I'm in front of a computer and I'm just typing away, and the hours go by and I don't even realize it. So that little vibration on my arm helps tell me, hey, get up, move, you've been sitting for a long time. So that's always helpful. And, whether you do that with a Fitbit or maybe you just get a regular step tracker just because you want to look at the number of steps in a day, that works too. The one thing I will tell you is that since our goal is to move during the day, we're not using the Fitbit as our exercise for the day. I don't aim for 10,000 steps, and I typically don't recommend that you aim for 10,000 steps. And now this can vary from person to person, but if I'm going to give you kind of a general idea, 5,000 is a much simpler goal, and it's a reasonable goal for a lot of people. Chances are, if you actually take the steps to, walk a little bit more, take the long way, get up and move more, getting to 5,000 is not that challenging. It just maybe requires a little bit of extra effort, but it's not too challenging if you're truly being active with your body throughout the day. Now, getting to 10,000 is another story. That means you need to go on a walk to get there, and that's an exercise component. But just to keep yourself physically active throughout the day, if you have a Fitbit or some sort of a step tracker or an Apple Watch, I believe tracks them too, 5,000 steps is a reasonable goal for just being physically active during the day. Now, I mentioned 3 things for this tip. So first one was just being active throughout the day. Second one was using our muscles. Now, these two can go hand in hand. Being active during the day is also part of using your muscles, but I'm not telling you to go lift weights, but we gotta keep our muscles strong. If you enjoy lifting weights, go for it. If that's your thing, go for it. Be safe about it. But for just an average person on an average day, just use your muscles throughout the day. So that means that if there's something heavy to carry, try not to ask for help. Try to do it yourself. Oh, you got groceries in the car? Instead of calling people over to come help you, be like, you know what? This is my chance to use my muscles, strengthen my muscles a little bit. I'm going to pick up the groceries. I'm going to carry them. Or maybe, at the grocery store, if you walk far, if you park your car far, instead of carting all the way to your car and placing it gently into your car, see if you can carry those bags from the front of the grocery store to your car. Look at that. You used your muscles. You did a little bit of an arm activity. That actually engages not just your arms, but a lot of the muscles in your body. Other things you can do throughout the day where you can, even if it's just simple, maybe you're like trying to do a little bit of a wall push-up or something. You pass by a wall and you're like, I have 10 seconds. Let me get a couple wall push-ups in. I know that sounds silly, but if you're working from home all by yourself, no one's seeing what you're doing, why not, right? It doesn't have to be some sort of a crazy workout routine where you have to carve out at least an hour of your time, get to the gym, do all that. Instead of doing that, little exercises like that can be incorporated throughout the day too, where it's not just a gym day, but just ways to keep your muscles strong throughout the day. And there's a lot of apps out there that have like quick little exercises like that you can learn, so that instead of just following a routine, you kind of have a couple exercises in mind, and then you're also mindful of the things that you're doing. So for example, let's say you're doing laundry, right? And then you drop something on the floor. Maybe you do that as a squat. Maybe you do a couple squats while you're doing that. You got your laundry basket. Maybe you do a couple of squats while you're at it. I know all of this sounds silly, but honestly, you are in the comfort of your own home. The person that's going to judge you is maybe a family member. And if they're judging you for trying to take healthy steps, then they need to change their mindset, not you. So even if it looks silly, doing squats where you can, using proper form where you can, or maybe you're doing laundry and you're dancing, you put on some music and you dance while you're doing some laundry, and you do a couple squats in between folding some things, and that kind of goes hand in hand, right? You're moving your body and you're using your muscles at the same time. Finding little things like that are going to just get your body moving, and dance can be a huge part of this. If you enjoy dancing, even if you don't enjoy dancing, if you enjoy music and just kind of moving your body, grooving your body side to side, that can be a way to use your muscles and be, physically active throughout the day too, but finding ways to sneak that into things that you already have to do during the day. Maybe your chores during the day, like grocery shopping or laundry or cooking. Any point of the day where you have to get things done, see if you can add a component of using your muscles while doing it, moving your body while doing it. And the last thing, of course, I said was move your body, use your muscles, and stretch. And stretch is the easiest form of exercise that you can do pretty much at any point during the day. So even if these first two tips, the moving your body and using your muscles, are like, I don't know if I want to do that, I'm not sure, all of us can stretch. Stretching is easy. Stretching is simple. You can do it sitting. I can do it right now where I'm sitting. It can be done by any one of us, and it's a way to get your body moving, especially if you're not used to your body moving. Maybe you don't do any sort of physical exercise. Maybe it's new to you, and maybe it's a little intimidating. Stretching is easy. Stretching just is going to help you feel better no matter what. So whether you find some sort of a stretching video to follow along, or maybe you just listen to your body and listen to, whatever feels tight, whether if your shoulders are feeling tight, maybe you do some shoulder rolls. If your neck is feeling tight, maybe you do some neck rolls. I personally like to incorporate a bedtime stretching routine right before sleep, and I literally do it in my pajamas in bed. I'm not pulling out a yoga mat or anything like that. I'm just sitting there and I roll my neck a couple times. I roll my shoulders. I turn side to side. I lean forward, stretch out my back, and it helps relax my body before sleep and helps me improve my sleep quality too. But it also gives me a way to stretch my body so that it feels better for the next day. So even if you don't do any sort of exercise, get like 10 minutes of stretching in, either before bed, while you're sitting in bed, either while you're sitting in front of the TV. You don't even have to get up. Start it seated, and I guarantee you, once you get moving and you feel how good all those stretches are feeling in your body, you are way more motivated to be like, okay, let me get up and stretch my legs a little bit too. Or yeah, this feels good, I'm gonna keep doing. It's usually taking that first step. With any sort of exercise, it's always taking that first step that's challenging. But once it starts feeling good, we are naturally motivated to keep going. And unfortunately with exercise, the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of my clients make is they think, I want to lose weight, so I got to exercise, and they go for a really hard exercise. They go for like HIIT classes, or they go for lifting heavy weights. And while all of that is great, absolutely great, if it's not sustainable in the long run, it's not going to work. It's more effective to do 10 minutes of stretching every night for the next month than to go to the gym maybe twice in the next month for a really hardcore workout. You're going to see better results from whatever you do consistently. But in order to do it consistently, the difficulty level needs to be manageable. And stretching is a very low difficulty level with a high payout of feeling good. So we got to do things that require low effort with a high payout to get our motivation levels up. Okay, so find ways, and we're going to move on next to that goal setting. So start thinking about how you could implement moving your body, using your muscles, and stretching throughout the day. Alrighty, if you made it this far into the video, you've come to our goal setting section. Now, just to recap the 3 tips that I gave you, the first one was you gotta get your sleep in order. Second one was managing your stress. And the third one was moving your body, using your muscles, and stretching. So for all 3 of these tips, now we're gonna do some goal setting. So you can either take out a piece of paper, or if you're on your phone, you wanna type this into your phone. Whatever you may be doing, I want you to write these down. When we write it down, we're more likely to stick to it. I think what works best for a lot of people is having a visual of it. So if you write it down and you stick it to a place that you look at regularly. So some of the common places that I would recommend would be like a mirror in your bathroom is a good place. You see that every morning. Or if you do go to the kitchen every morning, your fridge is another good place. That's a common place that you're probably going to look at in order to see these tips that you're going to be working on. A lot of times with things like this, it's out of sight, out of mind. So if it's not visually anywhere near you, chances are you may forget about it. So write these goals down, put them somewhere visible so that you can keep holding yourself accountable. And also leave a comment down below if you feel comfortable. It's a random place, but leave a comment down below and give me what your goals are going to be for each of these tips, and I will help you hold yourself accountable too. That's what I do as a dietitian. I'm happy to do it for you too. So leave a comment telling me what your goals are going to be, and I'll keep checking back with you and seeing if you're actually sticking to it and helping hold you accountable to those goals. So let's get started. With any goal setting that we're going to do, the focus will always be, let's make it sustainable, okay? We're not going for ideal. We're not going for what's perfect, what the end goal is. It's a step-by-step process, and we have to get there. So what is this first step we're taking? And that's how you got to look at goal setting. Anytime you're trying to reach a big goal like weight loss is a big goal. It's not simple. There's a lot of components to it. So you have to take the baby steps to get there. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you take the first baby step, and once you get comfortable with that, then you take the next step, and then the next step, and next step, and before you know it, you're there. But I know it requires a lot of patience to do that step by step, which is why a lot of times we need a lot of accountability, somebody to hold us accountable throughout that process. So that's what I'm here to do, to help you do as well. So think about that as you're going through. Make this first goal really sustainable. And when I say sustainable, I mean, is this something you can do for the foreseeable future? This is not short term. This is not for the next month or even the next 2 months. For the rest of your life, is this something you can do? And of course, we can't always figure out what's going to work for us in the next year. We can only make a best educated guess based on what we know about ourselves. And that's why I always tell you to listen to the feedback from your body, to be attuned with your body. Because if you're listening to the feedback from your body, then you can say, hey, you know what? Maybe this goal didn't work for me, but I know how I can make it better. I know how I can improve it. So let's change it to this instead. And keeping those goals really manageable for you is going to make it easier to stick to them in the long run. So let's start with that first goal that we have, right? Is getting more sleep, getting better quality sleep, better quantity sleep, just getting your sleep on track. So in order to do that, what do you need to do? Now, the first goal that I'm going to have any of you that are watching this video, if you're trying to set a goal when it comes to your sleep, is first and foremost, figure out what time do you need to get to bed at night. So what time do you need to be up in the morning? How much sleep do you need? And what time do you need to be in bed at night? And I want you to set that goal for yourself. Write it down. Every night during the week, I will go to bed at whatever the hour may be. And let that be the hour you get in bed. That's when you're getting in bed, you're turning everything off, and the idea is that you're going to fall asleep in the next half hour. Now, I'm going to set my goal with you too, because this is something I struggle with. I am a big procrastinator of time at night, where once I have that time to myself, I don't want to give it up. I just want to stay up doing my own thing before I have to do the day all over again the next day. But I know that if I'm in bed by 10:30 and I'm asleep by 11, I wake up feeling my best the next morning. So that is my goal. I'm going to write down for myself that I will get to bed at 10:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. And I'm going to be reasonable with myself, because I know I'm not going to be able to do that on a Friday night. I know I'm going to want to stay up late. I know I'm going to want to stay up late on a Saturday night. So I'm going to say Sunday through Thursday nights, I will go to bed at 10:30 p.m. And that's what I'm going to hold myself accountable to in order to make this work. So do that for yourself too. Find that time, write it down. Now, maybe you try this. Maybe you try to get yourself to bed at that hour, and either it's not working for you because maybe you're not sleepy by that hour. Then that means, okay, now we got to work on how can I get myself sleepy by that hour so that I can get to bed on time. Or maybe you realize, you know what, that was maybe too early for me, or that was too late for me, and you need to adjust that time. You can. But for now, I want you to set a time and let that be your goal, and give that a try for the next couple days. Listen to the feedback in your body, listen to what your body's telling you, see how it's working out for you, and make adjustments as you need to. But always have a goal for yourself when it comes to sleep about what time you're going to get to bed on just a regular night when you got, work or school or whatever it may be the next day. Okay? So that is your first goal as part of this weight loss video. Now, second goal is going to be to manage your stress. And this is going to vary from person to person. So you got to find what helps you manage your stress. For me, I need to do a general stress relief at the end of the night so that I start my day feeling not as stressful in the morning. If I start my day at my stress levels high, then it just stacks on and on and on from there. So for me, my goal is to start my stress levels at the lowest possible. Now, keep in mind, in the morning, I have a toddler. So I wake up in the morning and get my toddler ready for school, get him dropped off. So that in itself is a stressful morning start. And there's nothing I can do about that. That is just the way it is. I just got to get a toddler to school. And that's my life right now. So I can't manage that stress, but I can manage the stress levels at which I'm starting my day from that point forward, so that I'm not starting at a stress level here, so that dropping off my son brings me to here, and then work brings me to there, and then off I go, being very stressed out throughout the day. So in order for me to do that, what I like to do in the mornings to manage my stress levels is actually wake up a little bit on the earlier side. So that is going to be my goal, is to wake up about a half hour before my son wakes up. So that's typically around 6:15 to 6:30 for me in the mornings. That's when I'm going to set a goal for myself to wake up so that I have the morning to myself. I can relax in a relaxed way, scroll my phone in the morning a little bit, check my social media, whatever I want to do on my phone. I can take my time getting up, going to the bathroom, getting ready, putting on my makeup before I need to get my son up. Versus I know if I get up like 5 minutes before my son does, it's stressful for me. I wake up in a moment of panic, like, oh my gosh, I got to get myself ready, and I'm rushing to get myself ready, rushing to get him ready, and it's a very stressful morning. Whereas if I take that extra 30 to 45 minutes for myself in the morning, by the time I'm waking up my son, I'm in such peaceful state to start my day that I just set a better tone for myself for the rest of the day. Now, this is what works for me. So you need to figure out what works for you. And you can see it kind of affects the first tip I have as well, right? Because I'm kind of tying this into sleep, but a lot of these things are tied together. Sleep can cause stress. Lack of sleep can cause stress. Having exercise can help with stress. Like, they're all interrelated things. So you can set goals that are going to hit different categories and help you with multiple categories, which is even better. But don't double dip, right? You can't set one goal that's going to cover 2 different categories. You got to set separate goals for each category. So for me, stress levels, for me, it's going to be waking up around 6:15 to 6:30 to give myself that time in the morning, to have some alone time and start my day off on a good foot. Now for you, it may be something different. So check in with yourself. What are the most stressful points of your day? What really, really stresses you out? And how can you prevent that level of stress response? If it's not something you can control, if the stressful thing is not something you can control, just like I cannot control what my child does in the morning and how he wakes up in the morning and how our morning goes with him, I can't control that, but I can control my response. So you need to figure out, okay, what is stressing me out? What are the most stressful points in my day? And how can I manage my stress so those stresses don't feel as stressful? And a lot of times it's starting your day off on a good foot, coming up to that point in a good state, in a good non-stressed out state, so that you're thinking more logically about whatever the stressful situation is and handling it better. So think about that and write down one thing that you're going to do to help manage your stress. Okay, write that down. So you should have 2 goals right now. You should have one for sleep and one for stress. And then the last goal we're going to do is going to be the movement one. So that's going to be to move your body, use your muscles, and to stretch. Now, for me, the goal I'm going to set for myself is going to be the 5,000 steps a day. I am working a naturally very sedentary job. I'm in front of a computer all day. I work a lot from home as well, which means I don't get to walk around a lot. I don't have a big house, which means I don't get a lot of steps just walking around my house either. So I need to make the extra effort to take the extra steps and get myself to 5,000. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take the stairs in my house more often. If somebody needs something from upstairs, I'll go do it. I'll volunteer. or I need to go get something from the garage, from the car, I'll go do it. Instead of asking my husband to go do it, I'm going to do it because it's going to give me the extra steps. And I'm also going to try to incorporate that throughout the day as well. I'm going to try to, walk around the house as much as I can. If I'm on the phone talking to someone and I don't have to be in front of a computer, maybe I can walk around my room just to get some extra steps in. But either way, I'm going to hold myself accountable to getting to 5,000 steps a day to make sure I'm moving my body. So that is my third goal. I'm going to put down that I'm going to get 5,000 steps a day. Now, if I don't get it one day, that doesn't mean, oh, this didn't work. Oh, well, time to move on. This is not working out for me. Of course not. Life gets in the way all the time. We have good days, we have bad days. But just because one day did not work out does not mean we can't start again the next day. That's the nice part about waking up to a new day. You can start fresh. Whatever didn't work yesterday, let's try again today. But maybe your goal as well is to get 5,000 steps a day, and now it's been a week and you're still not getting 5,000. Maybe you're only getting to 4,000 a day, and just getting to 5,000 becomes impossible. That is when you change your goals. You don't give up on goals, you change your goals to make them sustainable. So maybe what's sustainable for you is to get 4,000 steps a day right now, and that's okay. That's totally fine. With anything like this, with moving your body, with using your muscles, it's all about endurance. The more you do it, the more you build endurance, the easier it gets, and the more opportunities you have to make it a more difficult goal. So if 4,000 is where you need to start, then 4,000 is where you start. And I guarantee you're going to feel good if you know you're hitting your 4,000 every single day. And you hit that for a week, you hit that for 2 weeks. You're going to be so motivated knowing you've hit your goals versus setting an unreasonable goal, not meeting it. You're not going to feel good about yourself. You're going to think, oh my gosh, I can't do this. This is too hard. So make it easy for yourself. There's nothing wrong with making exercise, movement, healthy eating, all of these things. There's nothing wrong with making it easy and simple for yourself so that you can stick to it. Okay? All right, so you should have hopefully 3 goals that are set. If you feel comfortable, feel free to share them in a comment down below, and I will help hold you accountable on your goals and keep working on them. Once you master these goals, set the next one. If it's this goal is not working out, once you've tried it for maybe a week or so, then maybe change your goal up. But always have some sort of a goal in place for sleep, for your stress, and for your physical activity in order to help support your weight loss efforts. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching Healthy Made Simple in this video with my 3 weight loss tips. I hope this helped give you a different perspective on weight loss and how you can actually help yourself lose weight without obsessing so much over the diet aspect, the calories, the food aspect. We think about that a lot, and we think about, exercise and going to the gym a lot, but some of these things we don't think as much. We don't think about sleep as much. We don't think about stress as much. We don't think about just daily movement as much either. And all of these are such important components of weight loss. And especially if you've been trying to lose weight but maybe haven't been successful, take a look at these 3 things that I talked about. Maybe that's where your hiccups are. Maybe it's your sleep. You're not getting enough sleep and that's why you're not losing the weight. Or maybe you're just so stressed out and that's affecting your weight loss efforts. I hope this gives you a chance to look at the bigger picture of what weight loss is actually meant to be. Weight loss is actually meant to get you to a healthier state in life. And being healthy isn't just being a certain number on a scale. Being healthy is an overall concept where you're at a healthy body weight, you got good physical activity, you're moving your body, you're not stressed out all the time, you're getting good sleep, you're recovered, your body is repaired, you're replenished. That's a healthy state to be in. It's not just that number that you're trying to get through, those 20 pounds you're trying to lose. So really think about weight loss from a health perspective. And if the food component is stressing you out, find other goals you can work on that are going to get you to a healthier state and get you more motivated in order to tackle the food portion of the weight loss program as well. All right, and if you are interested in working with a dietitian, I work one-on-one with clients. Feel free to check out my Empower Yourself program where we do a weekly or bi-weekly sessions so that I can help you with these weight loss efforts and teach you how you can set goals for yourself and how you can sustain all of this in the long run to lose weight and to keep the weight off too. So check out my website with my Empower Yourself program if you are interested. And if you like the videos that I produce, please make sure to subscribe. This one's a little bit different because this was more about healthy lifestyles, but I share a lot of videos on healthy eating and how you can make that simple so that if you are trying to lose weight, you're trying to eat healthier, I can give you some tips, tricks, approaches to make healthy eating simple and easy for yourself. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and be on the lookout for future videos. Thank you so much again for watching, and please don't forget to leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions for the future, and be on the lookout for more healthy videos to make healthy eating and healthy lifestyle changes simple for you and your family. Thanks again, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye!